right, what's up, y'all? All right, today I want to talk about a concept called simplicity and elegance. This is our phrase for our version of minimalism. And we feel like it goes a little bit beyond that because it's the way that we try to do things and this awareness that we have, but it's also what automatically happens when we choose this path that we're on together. So I love the phrase simplicity and elegance, and specifically the word elegance and what it means. So the definition is being pleasingly ingenious and simple, clean, and neat. And to me, that's everything that we're about with the SHT, okay? So part of this is understanding that as I design my habits and routines and my daily actions that ideally are moving me in the direction of being healthy, I want to have a background intention of simplicity and elegance, because the more simple and elegant and easy the things are that we need to do to be healthy, the more likely it is that we're going to stick with those things over the long term, all right? But also, I think it helps to have this acknowledgement and understanding that when we commit to a healthier path, when we commit to this path that we're all on together, things automatically get more simple and easy simply because you're limiting the amount of decisions that you have to make. All right, so a lot of people come into trying to be healthier and they see it as being restrictive in some way. And I think that's just a perception that needs to change and flip, right? Instead of seeing things as being restrictive, you can see it as being very freeing and liberating because your choices are so limited. So I want to take you through some examples of what happens when people work with us and when we're on this path together, right? So having less choices is a great thing. We limit the foods that we eat because we only focus on real foods. We don't focus on the infinity of crap options that are out there. And so by definition, this makes our life a lot easier because we only get to choose certain things. When I go grocery shopping, I literally do stay in the outsides of the perimeter of the store where I'm getting produce, and I get meat, and I get eggs, and some dairy products, and some fats and things, and maybe every now and then I'll go up and down the aisle to get something like some condiments or something. But for the most part, I'm not spending a lot of time in a grocery store. I know exactly what I want, and I get it, and I get out. My decisions are made for me to a large degree, all right? We limit the number of times that we eat in a day. So most of our community eats 1 or 2 times a day. And I think to a lot of people that first come to work with us, that sounds insane because they're so used to eating so often and they're so used to their lives revolving around food, and they're used to the conventional wisdom view that we need to eat every 2 or 3 hours and have constant snacks for energy and to keep our metabolism up, which is absolutely bizarre. But when you get into our world, you start to understand and learn that when you focus on eating foods that are nutrient dense, you start to get nutritionally sufficient, your appetite auto-regulates, and you don't eat for energy anymore. Energy comes from your stored body fat. And when that starts to happen, when you become nutritionally sufficient and when your body starts to get energy from its body fat stores, your appetite changes and you just don't feel like eating all the time. Like I eat 1 time a day, I train really hard every morning at 5 o'clock a.m., and I'm fine and energetic and awesome during the day, and that's how most of our people are. Now, we're not recommending that's where people start. When they come to work with us, we have a progression, and we start very easy and simple, and then over time, most people gravitate towards 1 or 2 meals in a day. We limit the places that we can go to eat because there's only certain places that are going to have options that I'm going to go for, right? And as time goes on, I start to see less and less value in going out to eat. I love the social component. I love going out and having some good real food with some friends and a few drinks. But in general, I just don't spend a lot of time eating out because I can't control what's out there. And there aren't many places that offer many options that I can, eat food. A great thing, if I get invited to lunch, a lot of people sometimes feel like, okay, well, how am I going to do lunch dates and business lunches and things like that? And what we'd say is there's always the option not to eat. You can go out and hang out with your friends. You can hang out with a business associate and have a meeting and order coffee. Or you can order something simple like a salad and a steak. But the bottom line is, because of what we're doing, you automatically limit the choices that you have as far as places that you can go. We also automatically start to limit the times that we can go out, which makes my life very easy. Monday through Friday, it's rare that I'm going to go out or even accept an invitation out because I'm going to get to bed on time because I want to feel amazing the next day. And again, some people would see that as being restrictive. And what we'd say is it's amazing because it clarifies and simplifies all your decision making. You know that you can't do certain things at certain times because you're so committed to this health path. All right? Same thing with the number of events that we can go to. You know, I think the more friends we have and the more connections, it's great, it's awesome. At the same time, the more things that we have that come up that we can go to, that we get invited to, and obligations and things. But again, if you're committed to this health path, you have to pick and choose those events wisely, because there's only so many that you can go to and still feel amazing and do the things that we need to do to feel amazing, right? And then if I could just list out a basic list of things that I need to do in a day to keep myself feeling amazing, and this is the things that we teach our people, it becomes very clear. There's not many things that I need to do. I just need to get these few things right, and then I'm going to feel amazing most days. All right, so first of all, I get up at a decent time. All right, decent time is relative to everyone. I get up at 3:30 a.m. most mornings. I'm so habituated to it. It's just what I do, even on weekends. But that's a set time, right? I don't change that because the weekend is different. I don't get up at a different time on different days. I have a set time that I'm habituated to, and that makes decisions very easy for me. And then most of us skip breakfast, so there is no decision making there, right? We just have some coffee with some heavy cream or tea or something like that, and we don't even worry about having a meal first part of the day. Most of us will meditate or have some quiet time or some devotion in the morning before the craziness of the day starts. Most of us like to get sweaty most days. As my good friend and mentor Colby Phillips says, we get sweaty most days. We like to do a little bit of movement most days, right? Then a lot of us will have an appropriate lunch, whatever that is. Simple, clean, elegant, meats, healthy fats, and some vegetables. And then we have an appropriate dinner in the evening. Again, meat, fat, vegetables, some fruit, some starch, some approved like chocolate or honey or something like that. And then we get to bed at a decent time, so that we can facilitate an amazing day the next day. Now, this fits really well into a modern, chaotic, family-based life, okay? Because what I just listed there is easy. I get up at a certain time, I don't eat breakfast, I spend a little quiet time to myself, I have an appropriate lunch, maybe I get a little bit sweaty sometime throughout the day, I have an appropriate dinner, and I get to bed on time. That's pretty much everything that we need to do to feel amazing. Only thing I might have left out there is making sure you're getting sun every day, but that's something that we learn as we go through everything that we talk about together. So a lot of people come to us looking for complication. I can't even tell you how many people come into my private practice office as I work with them as individuals, and they're so used to weighing and measuring and counting and having complex meal plans and programs. I think that we're just brainwashed to think that things have to be complicated, and they honestly cannot be more simple. Now, that does not mean that things are necessarily easy, especially if they're different. If they're different, it's gonna feel a little bit overwhelming and challenging. But the reality is that once you get into this way of doing things, it becomes super simple, and it does become easy. We want to make this work in a modern lifestyle, so we want to keep things simple and elegant. And I think something that's really beneficial is laying out an ideal day for yourself. So if I had to take away from this video, it is, number one, if you haven't worked with us, join us. Like, our way of doing things is so awesome. It's so amazing. You get all the benefits of looking and feeling and performing absolutely amazing, the best you have in your life, regardless of what your goals are. If your goal is fat loss or weight gain or improved performance or just general health, this way of doing things facilitates all those different things, right? The second thing that I'd highly recommend is maybe map out an ideal day for yourself and see where those things can fit in that you need to do to make yourself healthy. This visual embeds an unconscious command in your unconscious mind to do the right thing. So as I lay out an ideal day, and I have a worksheet that I'll make available to y'all, I have it broken down by hour and half hour, right? So I have the time that I feel like I need to get up to get my day started, and we all know what time that is, right? I can backwards track from that and figure out what is an ideal bedtime for me, and I can go ahead and put that on the sheet. All right, and then in between, I just have to plug in the different things, the few things that I know I need to do to make myself healthy. So I can have my workout at the ideal time that fits and is conducive with my work situation and my family situation. I have my meals. At the most, we're having 3 in a day, but most of us are doing 2, so I kind of put those in there. I have my quiet time. Ideally, that's sometime in the morning, maybe a 5, 10, 15-minute window before the craziness of the day starts. And that's pretty much it. Maybe I take some breaks throughout the day, but if I just list out those different things in a day and I can see where those things have to happen, It becomes way less daunting. I also pre-program myself to do the right thing most days. And I can look at that sheet before I go to bed and think about, what do I need to have in place in order for me to get to the gym on time? What do I need to do right now? Lay out my clothes, you know? What do I need to do to make sure that I have an appropriate lunch? And maybe make sure that I have appropriate snacks available. You know, what do I need to do to make sure that I have this little 10 or 15 minute window of time blocked out that I can have my little quiet time or meditation or devotion? It becomes very clear that this is very easy and simple, and the rest of the things that make things chaotic and feel overwhelming is our life situations. And those life situations aren't going to change, but what can change is the way that you show up to life. And the way that you show up to life different is by making health a priority. When you find health, you find yourself. Okay, so again, I've got this little worksheet that'll be available to you. If you have any questions or comments, just let us know, and we'll be very happy to work with you on any of this stuff. We'd love to see you join us if you're not a part of what we're doing already. All right, but there's a lot of love and support here for you no matter what. All right, we will talk to you guys soon. All right, there's one other thing that I wanted to say. All right, I think a lot of us feel pressure, social pressures, to do certain things that we know don't serve us. All right, and I think this takes some time getting used to and being comfortable with your way of doing things and our way of doing things. But I want y'all to be proud to be different. Be proud to say yes to the things that make you feel amazing, and be proud to say no to the things that don't. It's okay to not do everything and please everyone. All right, and you can still go out and enjoy yourself and have social times and hang around the people that you care about and love. You just have to make the right choices when you're out there. But be proud to be simple and elegant and making the right decisions and saying no to the wrong things. Be proud to be different. Over time, you start to fall in love with this way of being and this way of doing things. All right? Now, pro tip, it doesn't have to be complicated to work. And pro tip, be proud to be different and be proud to be the SHT.